So when we got signed to Island, we weren't
Mhm.
with Al. So we had a relationship with Al. We had been on the road with him and everything. Somehow or another, we ended up getting a record deal outside of Al B. Shore. I
Okay.
don't know how, but he wasn't a part of it. You know, um, we went on Motown. I'm sorry, we went on Island, Polydor Island, and we did that first album, and it was cool. Party Tonight came around 2 years later. On the next album, that was a single, but the album never came out for that.
So the album for Island Polydor, that one they gave you guys, you had your stuff, released it, but it wasn't successful.
No, no, no. So here's the thing, and this is why I was so amazed by what you said about Take Six and being a part of that country thing. Because when we were at Polydor, we were at Island, they had no black music division. So what they had back in the day was they would have black music divisions.
Mm.
MC, this is the black music division. Capital, this is the black music division. And so there was no black music division. It was literally everybody that was coming out, that was doing black music. It was really under this guy, Leotis Clyburn, and a few other people, but it was like we didn't have the whole black music division that could bring it out. Now, when we left 2 years later, Drew Hill did sign to Island with Hiram Hicks. They did have a black music division by that time. So our
Okay.
album was something where it was out there, but the machine that we were a part of didn't know. They didn't have the relationships, the black music relationships
Yeah.
that needed in order to make it go at radio, in order to make it go. But shout out to BT. BT gave us some play. Radio gave us some play. But what we really needed in order to make it happen, we were like these, four teenage boys singing about love in really an environment where everybody wasn't listening and tuned into black music. They were tuned into something else in
Yeah.
their real lives, in their relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when Drew Hill came out, they'd only merged with that Def Jam, so they had they could piggyback off of that, and they had the soundtrack, the Rush Hour soundtrack.
Right.
So there
That's
was a
right.
whole big Universal
Yep.
machine, so that made a difference for them.
Oh man, that was great for them, man. That was great for them. Shout out to Drew Hill, my guy Nokio. Shout out to Stanley Brown, and
No, that's the
oh
yeah,
man,
Yellow Stanley. Yeah, he's back in the church as well.
brilliant, man, brilliant. Stanley Brown is a minister of music at a church that's probably like 5 minutes from my house right now.
Okay,
The church, the
okay,
church,
yeah, Stanley. Yeah,
the church that he's minister of music at is around the corner from the church I'm a minister of music at.
okay, okay. I mean, he goes all the way back to whole Teddy and the Spider-Man and Freeze and
Yes, yes, absolutely.
yeah, okay. I forget that he did say that Dave Hollister initially recorded the track and it was banging, and then Harm saw the chance to sign these guys and had them sing it right away, and then it went out that night. It's the whole story about that.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
Yeah, and
No,
I
I heard
think
about that.
yeah,
I heard about that.
yeah, and I think people forget that he did I'm Dreaming as well for Christopher Williams.
Yes, he did, man. I think he was at a church called Pilgrim or some church in Brooklyn that he was at the time when he came up with that. I think I spoke to him briefly about that, but you can let him tell you, man. It was quite an amazing. I mean, yeah, Stanley's just dope, man. Stanley's just dope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, definitely. Okay, so okay, so when you guys came out with Island, were they just doing reggae? Because I know we know Island in the UK for their reggae stuff.
They had the reggae stuff, and by that time they had some rock stuff going on. A lot of
Okay.
rock, had a lot of rock groups. So you see the guys walking around, and you'd be like, yeah, you're a heavy metal A&R. I could tell. I could. You like that hardcore rock stuff. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's pretty much what was going on.
Okay, so how disappointing was it when the album didn't really make it then? How did you guys how did it affect you?
Bro, I was so young. I don't think I really cared. I, I think I'm not gonna lie, because I gotta think back on it. And I knew everybody. So you know what it was? It was like there were two worlds. that I was focused on. There was the world of the consumer, and there was the world of the artists and producers.
Mm.
The artists and producers loved me. So it was literally like going to parties, navigating through the parties, and having all of these people who I considered my heroes say, "Oh my God, yeah, oh, I love you, man. You're so dope." Saying that to me. And I'm a kid. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I would be on cloud nine, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't focus as much on the general public. I didn't start focusing on the general public until the Party Tonight era. I was a little bit older now. I was in high school and I was a little bit, and so I kind of understood things a little bit more. So I had a little bit more riding on that. But that first one, bruh, we did that joint we created the songs right in Queens in our houses and went to studios and did this. And next thing you know, we're signed and we're looking at BT. Oh, wow, that's us. And it was a big jump from being just in the hood to being on BET and then having certain people know who you are in the music
Mhm.
industry. That was huge for me. I don't know
Yeah.
about them, but for me, I was like, this is amazing.
Did you get to meet Jodeci at the time?
Yes, I had met Jodeci. Listen, bro, he wouldn't remember this. Casey wouldn't remember this, but I was going to a Bad Boy session and I was going to the old Hit Factory and I had never been to the new Hit Factory. Well, I had never been to the old Hit Factory. That's what it was. I had never been to the old Hit Factory, but it was still there. The old Hit Factory was still there. But then the new Hit Factory was like 2 blocks down or something like that, a block and a half, 2 blocks down.
Hmm.
Oh, I walk past the Hit Factory, the new Hit Factory. I look in the lobby because it was nothing but glass, and I see Devontae from Jodeci. He's just sitting there in a chair. And I said, yo, that is Devontae from Jodeci right now. And then I look and I see Dalvin. He's talking to the dude at the counter. And then I see a dude with a snorkel jacket on with a hood on. And he had fur around the hood and he's walking around and he might have had a 40 in his hand, like beer, you know what I'm saying? And I said, that's Jojo. I didn't even have to see his face. I said, that's Jojo. So I walk up the block and I see a girl with a bad boy jacket on. It said Bad Boy Entertainment. And at the bottom it said the 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 last generation of bad MFers at on the bottom of it. And so I had the same jacket. All right. So I'm when I saw, oh, this person will be able to tell me where the Hit Factory is because they have a bad boy jacket on. They would know. It's a guy and a girl walking. And I walk up and I said, excuse me, do you know where the old Hit Factory is? The girl didn't speak. The guy had his hat on low and he said, yeah, man, go right down there, blah, they have a green awning. You can't miss it. And when he started talking, I said, oh, that's KC. That's Casey from. They were on the corner, and I said, "That's Casey from." I knew based on. I said, "All right, thank you." And I looked at the girl. It was Mary J. Blige. She
Ah,
had the bad boy jacket on, you know. And I was like, "Wow!" And I went into that studio. I said, "Bro, I just met. I just met KC. I just spoke to him, and we had the same camp. I'll be sure that was the same camp.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so we were able to run into each other. They were always complimentary of me because they was like, yeah, that's Lil Tone, that's the guy. He rock with Al and them. So ultimately, we did a song. Al had me reference a song called Beautiful. I went in there and I had, he said, yo, why don't you get Brian from the group, Ladae? Why don't you get him to come and sing this with you? And I said, yeah, B, come on. Let's reference this. Because it was like maybe like the eighth or ninth song I had referenced with Al. B, come on. B comes to the studio. We do this song called Beautiful. It was specifically written for the New York Undercover soundtrack, sung by Jojo and KC. And they were still in Jodeci, but they were going to do this duo thing for the very
Mhm.
first time. They were going to, I'm sorry, why is that happening? Did you see that?
Yeah, the balloons. Yeah.
listen, bro. I have a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old, so I don't know what they do. Oh, that's perfect. You gotta keep that in there. You gotta keep that. You have
Yeah,
to
it's
keep.
good the way.
Shout out to my kids, man. But listen, having children keeps you young, and I love that. So
Yeah.
that was perfect. That was the perfect. I'm talking about my child. So, so ultimately, we do this song, and they come into the studio. Jojo and Casey come into the studio, and they were listening, to the reference, and it was like, all right, cool. So Jojo had to sing his part, Casey had to sing my part, and they did it. They did a video for it. Never came out, but it was on the New York Undercover soundtrack. But when that second album that Ladae did after Party Tonight, which never was released, we actually used that song Beautiful on our album.
Oh,
So people
oh,
would have saw it as a remake of their song, but we had actually done it. Then they did it,
okay.
and then we were doing it again. Kyle West, Albie Shaw.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind of